came from systems where the power went to the king and then the king ruled over the people. We don't believe in that. Our power comes directly from God, and we created the Constitution for people and to rule ourselves in the way we see fit.
Yeah.
I'm going to stand up like Dave. Be more like Dave. Well, Dave is absolutely right. The power does come from the people. Again, as I stated in my previous response, the fact is that we have government services, benefits that have been implemented by people that we have elected to Congress. This spending, all this spending that you see, that the federal government has implemented, it didn't come about because nobody wanted it. This is the government of the people. The people have chosen to spend in these areas. Well, okay, how did we get Social Security? I'm sorry? Well, but people elected Democrats, right? How did we get Medicare? 1965, and Medicaid. Because people elected people to Congress who voted for it. You may not agree with it, but those people who supported those programs, should they have a say-so in this? I mean, that's how we decide our elections. That's how we do it. We have a vote, and the votes were taken, and the programs were passed. You have to think about this also. When you look at Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, these programs were implemented as responses to problems. The problem with Social Security was we had elderly people who were in poverty, and if they didn't have families to take care of them, what happened to the folks? And Medicare and Medicaid, this was another situation to resolve poverty that the elderly people were having. So there was a response to a problem that exists. And I guess my time is up, but I've got a whole bunch of other examples. Thank you.
We would like to be able to take some questions from the audience in a few minutes. So if anyone would like to ask a question, you can just come on up and stand there and form a line, and we'll get as many questions in as we can in the time that we will have. We'll have two more questions from the panel here. First, last year Congress struggled with the issue of whether or not to raise the nation's debt limit. And I don't know how many times now the debt limit has been raised and whether it really is a limit. So the debt is currently somewhere close to the annual economy. So what is your position on continually raising the debt limit, or is there some point at which you would say enough is enough and we need to live within our means as well as get our spending under control? So I think that this question goes first to Mr. Blanchard.
Thank you. You know, it was July and August 2011, and we almost got to the brink where the United States was going to default on its loans. And you know, that would have made all the bondholders and the banks and the companies that loan money to the United States very unhappy. It was a very irresponsible position that was taken by right-wing Republicans to send this country through that. Our debt limit ended up being reduced by Standard & Poor's. And it wasn't because we couldn't pay. The United States has all kinds of assets that they can pay the debt with. Bondholders weren't worried about that. They were worried about the fact that voters had put people into Congress who would dare threaten to pay back loans. This was unprecedented. The number of times that the debt limit has been raised has been 25 times or more. We've never had a situation where it was nothing but an unqualified increase of debt, except for this time. And as a result, we've got the sequestration that's about to occur in January, on January the 1st. We're going to fall off the cliff, and it's going to hurt our economy. Thank you to the right-wing Tea Party conservatives. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Raise more times since Obama's been in office.
Well, I believe there's a reason they had to raise it because of the things that occurred in 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
And until we get our spending under control, I am not in favor of raising the debt limit or debt ceiling.
Question for both of you. Do you support the Environmental Protection Agency's treating carbon dioxide as a pollutant that needs to be regulated? And do you feel that global warming is man-made?
I believe the science is inexact, and I believe that until we have some exact science on it, we need to regulate, we need to stop the regulation and wait until we have exact science on the things that they're trying to regulate with the EPA. Part of the problem has been, as they go into the industries and are having problems, let me give you an example with the EPA. In Geauga County, we have package plants where the developer will start something, since we're all on septic, and they'll just start a package plant so they can accommodate a lot of homes on a smaller lot. Well, as soon as they finish the development, they take off, the county takes it over. Because they're gone, nobody else is going to take care of it. So the EPA kept on fining us. And I was in Twinsburg and I was exasperated with them, and they wanted to fine us $5,000 a day. Our money, taxpayers' money, was going to be paying another agency of government because we supposedly don't meet these requirements. So I asked them, okay, in exasperation, please show me one plant in the state of Ohio that meets these requirements on a daily basis. Oh, we don't have them. Then what kind of regulations are those? They have to be true to their purpose. We have to protect the people, but we also have to do it on an exact science and not on some young bureaucrat's idea of what that science is or should be.
Let me answer the question. No, I do not believe that carbon dioxide is a pollutant. And sometimes the EPA does go too far. As far as global warming, I'm not really certain. I agree with Mr. Joyce. It is an inexact science. And if the world is actually getting warmer, I think over history, geologists have shown that the world has gotten warmer and colder. And there might be a lot of natural reasons why that occurs. Thank you.
We're going to take questions from the audience here now. Before we do, I just want to mention briefly, you've got straw poll ballots. I'd like for you to fill those out before you leave. That'll be for the candidates that are here tonight and also for President and Senate. So you can turn those in when you leave at the end of the evening. So we'll go to our first question from the audience.
Thank you, John. The national debt and the economy, both of you have mentioned. I hear you. You can't hear? You mentioned, both of you have mentioned the national debt and the economy as being critically important. Most people, most citizens, when they hear the number $16 trillion, can't relate to that at all. Nor they can even relate to $1.5 trillion of an annual deficit. And so what I do is normally bring that down to per taxpayer. Per taxpayer, it's more than $11,000 a year. I've been a budget coach for 29 years, had the opportunity to work with 700 families. And at the first meeting, when I meet with them and find out how much their family deficit is per month, almost inevitably, the first reaction they have is, we just need more money and everything will be okay.